Today I'll be going over what a like term is in algebra. So, what is a like term? Put simply, they are different sets of values which are usually represented by letters. So they could be x, y, z. Each of these represent a different type of value. And let's see why it's important that they are distinguished. When in an equation you have, say for example, x plus y equals, well, x plus y. You can't group them together because they aren't the same variable. Whereas if you have x plus x, well, that's just 2 of x. If you have x plus 2x plus y, what does that equal? Well, you can add the x's together, right? Because you have 1x and you have 2x over here. So that's just 3 x's. And then you have a y, which you can't add together. You can only simply represent it as this. The way to think about it is x could represent like a type of fruit, say apple, and y could represent like oranges. And so if you have an apple here and 2 apples, well, you simply have 3 apples. But then you also have an orange, so you have 3 apples and 1 orange. You can't simply say you have 4 apples, right? Because 1 is an orange. Now there are more tricky like terms, such as ones like this. So you have x, you can have one with a power, so x squared, or x cubed, all the way to x to the n, which could be any number. Yes, they do have the same letter in that they both have x's, right? These are fundamentally different. These are not like terms, because when you go x plus x squared, well, you have 2 x's, so that can be grouped together and added. Then you have this x squared, which can't be grouped together, because 1 is a group of x's and 1 is a separate group of x squareds. I like to think of these having the same letter but different power as different types of fruits. Say, for example, it could be a different type of apple. So you have x is a red apple, and x squared could be a green apple. This equation here, you have 2 red apples, 1 green apple. Hopefully that makes sense. In later stages of algebra, subscripts can be used as well. So what subscripts are basically x1, x2, x3. Again, these have the same letter, right? All x's, but they have different subscripts, so the 1, 2, 3, which go below the letter. These simply denote different values, and they are not like terms. So same principle as before with the different types of apples. So you have x1, x2 plus x1, which means you have 2x1 plus 1x2. x1 could be a red apple, x2 could be a green apple, and it's the same principle as before, where it's just different values of the variable but the same letter. Any confusion and clarifies what like terms are. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and share to anyone who may benefit from this, and please subscribe for more. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. So, what if you have x1 plus x2 plus 2x squared plus y plus let's say 2x2 plus ax squared. What would that be? That's your homework for today. Let me know in the comments below.